I'm probably somewhat sexist because if this were a young boy who was, some ways abandoned by his parents, and there was an older man who was able to provide me with weapons and other equipment, but refused to actually provide direct help as I fought against all these other people, I probably wouldn't object so much. But if it's younger, wow, whoa, hey now, that's dangerous. Oh yeah, spiders are kind of annoying. Oh, this might be a good place to grind for them. There's two right there. Yep, I think I will. Because the game points out that the spiders are really a scattered foe. There's very few of them in the game in general, let alone in any sort of concentration. I'm just going to focus on these two spiders. I'm not going to go for the explosive guy too, because there's an area where I'll be able to get multiple of them in one place. Yeah, that's 25. Oh man, I'm going to be here for a while. This is a pretty good weapon choice, though, because it keeps them from hopping around on me. Plus, I gotta upgrade the weapon anyway, so... 2 birds, 1 stone again. Or 2 spiders, 1 bullet. Just as better the second time as it is first. That's how references work. And I suppose that's the other thing I wonder too, is how many people are achievement hunters out there? How many people, if you're playing a game that's honestly not that hard, and the achievements, they do take time to grind for, it's something you have to go out of your way for, you want to do it just through normal play. Are you the type of person who would just like, who cares, I beat the game, I got everything I really wanted out of it, so I'm not even gonna bother? Or are you kind of like me and, if it's not a painful experience, then you will take a little bit of time, you'll go out of your way to do it. And again, I don't know why I am this way where I do like to go for achievements, because most games out there nowadays, even though they'll put in the achievements, there's not usually a reward for actually going out of your way to accomplish all of them. Some older games, I think, did a much better job of doing that. I'm thinking, like, for instance, Resident Evil, one of them, if you beat it on a hard difficulty mode, you'd get a grenade launcher. Which is a pretty nice reward for your effort. Now, of course, the downside of that was, if you were able to beat the game on the hard mode, then you didn't really need a grenade launcher, so it's kind of defeating the point, but, it gave you something to mess around with if you so wanted. Another example is, if you beat Super Mario Bros. 3, then you get rewarded with a bunch of P-Wings, and then you start the game over again. And of course, if you were able to beat the game with the amount of power-ups that you were able to pick up through the game, then you'd be able to beat the game even without all those P-Wings. But you at least got a reward. That was the whole point. It wasn't whether it was the best reward or the most logical. You did receive something. In this game, I'm not going to get anything. And that's not a detriment to this game in particular. That's part of the core. You don't typically get anything special for going out of your way. And I guess on the subject of going out of your way, I was looking through the guides because the first thing I was wanting to find out if there was a reason to go on those deviate or those optional pathways in the early areas, if there were like secret weapons or the secrets. But I didn't see anything mentioned there. But then again, the guides I saw were mainly about getting easy level ups and money, and it did show the one place for money that I got, but the optional experience that it suggested was the first boss, the bear, which, yeah, that worked okay at the very beginning, but I think the slime boss is much, much better. I mean, that's my humble opinion, of course. But just trying to think of anything else that comes to mind. I guess I would ask for, again, whether you're an achievement hunter or not. Assuming you're not an achievement hunter, if there was a reward for doing it other than, oh, I got all the achievements in the game, big whoop, would you be more inclined to go for them? If there was, it's like, hey, wow, if you get all the achievements, you get a new upgrade, a better level cap. Damage. What do you mean more? Okay, bigger bullets and damage increase is a lot different than more accurate. Give me a break, game. I have to admit that this gun is already overpowered against many enemies. I mean, you see against the bats, it just kills them instantly. So I can see why there's not like an amazing upgrade if you max it out, but whether it would be kind of like the old school style of games where it may not be the most applicable reward, it might not be the most amazing thing ever, or it's not something you would ever actually have a great use for, which, again, if you're not doing the achievements for their own sake, then I doubt that would be much of a carrot on the stick, but like, take this game for instance. If it were to increase the cap on how many levels I can acquire, or maybe increase the cap on my weapons, or I got a new weapon that was, the best in the game unquestionably, that would be a worthwhile reward, I would argue. And I'm trying to think. I believe it's the Ratchet and Clank games that do a reasonable job with some of that, because throughout the game, at least the one I can think of, I think it's the third one. I think it's true for many of them in general, but the third one is the one I'm the most familiar with. But in the third one, you would get golden bolts, and you would use that to upgrade your weapons to a higher power level, and with a better, a more you would increase your gun beyond the normal level that was already programmed and set into the game initially, and so it'd have a better effect, it was more powerful. So there was a good reward and a good reason to work towards that. It wasn't just finding the golden bolts for their own sake. You would also get a better grade of weapon for it. Oh, gosh darn it. Hey, you stupid slimes. No, seriously. The slime ruins everything about that gun. But I just think that's a really great example of a game giving you a substantial reward and a reason to bother with finding all of the game's secrets. When you certainly wouldn't have to. I don't really understand the name of the game, considering you're not really going through any trials, you're just going through a normal gaming experience. And it wasn't called Super Mario Trials, for instance. I just think the name of the game could be better, but then again, so could the entire game, so at this point, who really cares?